all-star match back in November in Stillwater. Hendricks had won 2 or 3 previous ones, but they were all close. Esposito and Schlatter. Dustin Schlatter was outstanding on top against Massa. Rode him for over 4 minutes. Inside trip by Esposito. Boy, it's a good one, and he takes Schlatter down in a hurry. Esposito has looked really, really sharp this week. After not looking good the previous week, of course, he was battling a flu bug. Might have had something to do with that, and seemed sluggish and didn't have his normal conditioning, but he's up 2-0 early here, opening 14 seconds. Very good on top is Zack Esposito. Let's see how he does against the freshman. Dustin up to his feet very quickly, but off the mat. Good aggressive move underneath by Dustin Schlatter. Esposito tends to really pile up the riding time on most people. Schlatter gets to his feet. Esposito just shoves him away.
Please visit the site.
He didn't try that hard to ride that time.
These 5 matches in this tremendous event. We thank you.
Zack Esposito came into the NCAA Champion.
There's a shot by Schlatter, but can't hold the arm, the leg of Esposito. Uses good leverage to block it off. And a stalemate call by Jim Ramirez, the referee, with 2:09 remaining in the first. 2-1 Esposito.
Scoreless on mat 3.
Esposito has a variety of attacks. He'll inside trip you. Doesn't use the lateral drop much anymore. I've only seen that once in the last year and a half. Single leg, high crotch. Tried to duck under there, but it wasn't there. Low single. Very good with the inside trip. Schlatter had the one little reach at a leg. He just briefly had a brief high crotch, but never really. Oh, duck under by Schlatter. Man, that's a dandy for 2 right there. That was, he shoves Esposito off the mat. And Jim Ramirez says something to him about, hey, watch the way you release the man after the whistle. But a nice takedown by Dustin Schlatter. You don't catch Esposito flat-footed very often like that. Esposito, of course, very tough to ride, but Schlatter looked really good on top the other day, so we'll see how this goes. What happened here? Whistle blows, and I'm not sure what it was. They'll restart him. 3-2 Schlatter after that takedown.
5 and 6 in. Yes. Both of them do.
So 3-2 Schlatter.
And then next to him are the Mako family.
And Esposito going for the reverse, and he has it pretty easily. 4-3 Esposito. Very good underneath, very tough to ride. Schlatter to his feet. Esposito trying to elevate. Schlatter avoiding it. But Esposito does get him off the mat with 1:05 to go. Now the riding time starts back up for him. He's got a 10-second advantage at this point. So 4-3 in a dandy matchup so far of the youngster versus the veteran. And Dustin Schlatter gets to his feet. Esposito just shoves him away with just under a minute to go in the first. 4-4. A really active first period here. Schlatter hadn't been able to get anything going on his feet first half of the first period, and all of a sudden, bang, he just hit a great duck under for a textbook takedown. A lot of work on the hand control by Schlatter, but he's been doing a good job of that. Esposito yanked out of it finally. Didn't like the way he was trapped up there.
Victorious, 3-0 the score there.
4-4. Does anyone shoot in the last 20 seconds here?
For Waldorf College, Waldorf jumps ahead.
Have them a little bit more cautious here, it seems like. And the final 5 seconds, it looks like it'll be a 4-4 match going into period number 2. And it will be Esposito's choice. Oh, no, he points the other way. Yeah, this is the 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th match. I thought Minnesota had a choice in the odd matches, but I guess not. This is match number 4. It was Schlatter's choice. He chose down. Gets to his feet quickly, and Esposito shoves him away. He hasn't been that serious about riding Schlatter. And Schlatter in on a leg of Esposito. Good leg shot there. Esposito with some length, of course, is pretty good at keeping the other leg away. Schlatter trying to step over and get behind him.
Early in the second period.
Hikes it up. Esposito throws in a hip lock, turns into him. This would be a big takedown for Schlatter if he could get it. Esposito, though, reaching for the leg of Schlatter, has that left ankle trapped a little bit. And a stalemate called. Good shot by Schlatter, but could never get that close to securing the two. .119 to go in the second. Esposito looks like he wants to step up the pace just a bit. And Esposito goes for a leg, and he gets a low single on Schlatter, and he picks it up and kicks him right down. Nope, no takedown. Now he's got the other leg briefly, but doesn't get it secured. Schlatter doing a nice job of hanging away. Can't get that right leg secured yet. Can Esposito? Keeps reaching for it. Well, he calls him off. Esposito still had a foot in, and boy, the Oklahoma State coaches were a little upset at that. He still had one supporting point in, so it felt like they should have let the action continue. But good defense by Dustin Schlatter there to stay out of that takedown. Esposito couldn't get him pulled back in close enough to grab the second leg, collect that second ankle. Under 40 seconds to go in the second. 5-4 Schlatter.
We go into the third period on mat 3 with the only points on the board belonging to Lozier of Dana College.
Esposito with a 2-on-1 tie on the right arm, tries to trip off of it. Schlatter gets the feet back, does a nice job there staying out of that.
Injury timeout, mat 3.
13 seconds to go in the second, so 5-4 Schlatter going into the third if nothing happens here. And they're just kind of hanging now. Esposito glances at the clock, sees he only has 4 seconds. So 5-4, Esposito's choice to start the third. Does Schlatter try to ride? He didn't have any luck there in the first period after his takedown. In fact, he got reversed, but let's see what he wants to do here. 22 seconds riding time for Esposito, so that's not a factor at this point. Esposito up and out of there very quickly, so a 5-5 tie. Esposito a shot, makes a bad shot, and Schlatter jumps right behind him for the takedown. Right behind him on a counter move as Esposito made a little bit of an awkward shot and was taken down, so 7-5, and Dustin doing a nice job here. A good counter move there. Esposito got a little overextended, and boy, Dustin just jumped right on top. Spun around. He's been really quick and sharp on those takedown moves. Trying to break Esposito down, but Esposito back to his feet. Trying to peel those hands off. Granby roll by Esposito and trying to come back door on Schlatter. And making some progress. Turns into him. Schlatter still technically with control. Esposito working toward a reverse. Doesn't have it yet, but he's got him in some difficulty. There's 2 for Esposito, so 7-7. Minnesota crowd doesn't like it, but Ramirez thought it was there, and so did Mike Allen, the match judge, and Esposito now riding. And, of course, riding time not an issue. Schlatter actually has 7 seconds. So what do you do if you're Zack Esposito? Do you let him up, or do you try to ride him out? If you ride him out, the way it is right now, you could have exactly 1 minute riding time if the riding time clock stays right in sync with the match clock. No, he's going to signal freestyle start and let him go. So 8-7 Schlatter. There we go. This has been a barn burner here, a great match.
Lozier and Center now tied at 2 with 1 minute left in the final period on mat 3.
Esposito trying to pick up the pace on Schlatter. Is controlling. Inside trip by Esposito. Can he do it, though? Oh, he's got him almost taken down, but not quite. And then, of course, Esposito let go as they signaled off the mat, and Schlatter went on top of him. The crowd got excited about that, but 47 seconds to go. Esposito shooting out a leg. Schlatter just drops back, staying out of the way. 39 seconds to go. Esposito trying to keep the pressure on. Schlatter giving some ground here, but no, duck under by Esposito, and he gets the leg, but Schlatter fights out of the leg. Hip lock position now.
These 2 young men are giving you, ladies and gentlemen.
And And with 24 seconds to go, Schlatter still the lead. Esposito, not much time left. Probably needs to clear out here and does. 19 seconds to go. They've just put up 9-7 on the board from 8-7, and I don't know where the other point came from, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where the other point came. It was 8-7, and suddenly they gave Schlatter a point. He dives in, grabs a leg of Esposito, and that's going to allow him, if he holds on there, Schlatter is going to pull off the upset. 8-7 or 9-7, that's it. Oh, 3 seconds to go, I beg your pardon, and I don't know where this other point came from. I never saw another point signaled. So Dustin Schlatter upsets Esposito and makes the score 7-6. And that's one of the matches that Minnesota needed, and they do say 8-7 on the PA announcers.